Hi everybody, welcome to the Wonder Basement. I'm Tonya, and I am going to be talking and showing you a little sneak peek of the Happiness Abounds stamp set. It is in the new catalog that comes out May 3rd, so this is just, I got my pre-order, and so I've looked through some of the things, and I've been playing with this set and grouping, and it's really, really beautiful. And today, I'm actually combining forces with my friend Susan Smith at stampcreatively.com. She has a YouTube channel as well, and she is also doing a Hues of Happiness video. And so what we're going to do is that the first person that comments in both of our videos, they will receive a card from her that she's doing and from me that I'm doing. So two people will receive 2 cards. So it's pretty exciting, and I just wanted to let you know about that. Also, if you haven't liked and subscribed to this channel, if you've been here for a while, I really appreciate that if you do subscribe. We are both trying to grow our YouTube channels, and that really helps us out a lot. So one of the things that I'm going to cut to the chase with, I'm going to show you this beautiful set of designer series paper. And I just love all the colors. If you like intense color, this is the paper for you. And this is all of the colors. So it is a really, really fun stamp set to work with. And funny enough, I went with pinks and oranges, and Susan went with blues and purples. So it's kind of cool. You'll get the spectrum in the samples that we send out. So, and these are actual cards. They're full cards, and we'll send them to you, and they won't have anything written in them, so you can actually share them with somebody or keep it for yourself, whatever. So let's get started. Okay, this is the stamp set. Super cute. It's got a lot of great sayings in it. It's got a thank you, congratulations, happy birthday, best wishes, friend. I'm actually going to use this for a shower card and a birthday card. This is a photopolymer set. Just so that you know, we have 2 different kinds of stamps. We have rubber stamps, which would be something like this. And we call those clear stamps. And then we have photopolymer, which are clear, and you can see all the way through. The rubber stamp has the rubber cushioning underneath the red rubber. This one does not, the photopolymer, but you can kind of account for that if you have like fun foam, or we have these Stampin Mats that you can purchase. I think they're like $4 or $5, and it's just squishy so that when you stamp down, you'll get a good impression. Stampin'Up has also started printing in the case on the back of the paper insert the images, so you can actually, once you're done using your stamps, you can just stick them right here, and you don't have to then keep these papers that they come with. So let's get started. I'm going to use the large flower in this set, and I'm going to be using shimmer white cardstock. This is probably one of my favorite cardstocks to work with. I don't know if you can really see the shimmer, but in person it is beautiful. It's a very subtle shimmer, and I just love it. So I'm also going to be, I pulled the colors of ink that I'm going to be using out of the colors that coordinate with the paper. Ironically, I'm not really using much of the designer series paper in this particular card. I'm really focusing on the stamp set and some of the dies. So, but we're going to be using Melon Mambo, Mango Melody, and Granny Apple Green. Okay. So first things first, I'm just going to stamp my flower. I'm going to ink this up, and I am going to stamp it from one side to the other. And I'm going to kind of turn it a little bit because I don't want it to look like it's exactly the same every time I stamp. Stamp a little bit off. I do like to go off the edge just a little bit because that also gives you a fluid design. It really kind of sets your artwork apart from something that's just staying within the four corners of the paper. I mean, there are some times that you want to do that for effect, but this particular card, we're going to make it very flowing and fluid. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to take some Wink of Stella. This is one of the coolest tools that we have. It's actually clear, it's kind of a clear paint, and it has a little bit of sparkle here. Let me get you in closer so that you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see. Okay, I think that'll be a little bit better. Okay, so if you can see, this is just a clear, it almost looks just wet, but you can see it does have some sparkle in it. This is what the shimmer paper has in it, but we're going to add some more sparkle on top, and it does not rub off. I've never had any issues with that. I love it, in fact. And what I'm going to do, you can see I've kind of been playing with it already, is I'm just going to take, I've got some ink or paint on the tip of my brush. You just squeeze in, and this rolls down this little unit into the tip. And I'm just going to pick up some of this Melon Mambo color, get my paintbrush colored with some of that pretty ink. I'm going to start in the center, and I'm just going to put a wash down. I'm going to kind of go along the edge. If I want that darker, I can go pick up some more color. It actually lasts a really long time when you're, I'm just going to, and I want some of it to be dark. I want some of it to be light. And it doesn't matter if I go in the center, because when I put, I'm going to put some of the mango melody in the center for the yellow, and that will kind of take the pink to an orange center, which I think will be really pretty for the flower. This is super quick. This is one of my favorite things. This is like combining two of my favorite things, just straight stamping and coloring. So pretty. Oh, you will, if you like sparkles, man, this is the way to go. Oh, somebody's brought a delivery. Okay, I'm gonna keep, and if it gets a little bit dry, you just squeeze this, and you can see this is where the ink is coming down, or the paint. It's very satisfying, these sparkles, and you can see I'm going outside the lines a little bit. It's okay. You don't have to color inside the lines on this one. There was even a smudge there when I stamped. You may have seen it. That's why I didn't worry about it, because I knew I was going to probably cover it up. And you can get darker and lighter, but I'm just going to lay this down like this. I'm going to stamp my leaves in next. So I get that done, because I want to put some of this red brush strokes in between my flowers. So I'm just going to stamp. Super, super pretty. And again, I'm going off the edge, even down here, just so that it looks completed. Now that I've got those stamped, I can go ahead and I'm going to add some more of this Mambo color. Just going to, actually, I'm just kind of scribbling here. But you'll see it adds some motion to the card. If you ever have something where you're just like, it needs a little something, I am one that I always say add a little more, because the truth is that you never know how far you can push something until it's broken. So you may put that down and then you may hate it, but it may be the very thing that you need to zhuzh it up a little bit. And you won't know until you try. And it's only paper, so there's no reason to be afraid of it. Okay, so now, see, I've just got this back down to clear right here. And I'm going to take some of my green. And the way I do this is I'm going to smush this down and put a little ink here. If you get some of that Stella on your stamp pad, you can always just scrape that off and then add some more ink. Actually, I may just use what's on here too. We use everything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to, oops, sorry. I got it in a little too close. There we go. So I'm just going to lightly green up my leaves. This is so pretty. Okay, this is very springy. I always love pink and green together. It's one of my favorites. Now I'm going to take some of this Mango Melody, and on this one I actually just put a drop. My pad is a little dry, so I just put a drop of re-inker right here. And now you can see how this is going to kind of go just a little bit orange. Some. And you'll see on here, it looks like it goes solid, like right here. But what happens is when that dries, that's going to completely dry, and you're just going to be left with a sparkle. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to lay this back a minute to my paper, and I'm going to use my mini embosser. Okay, so what we're going to do, this has the prettiest dies in it, and they're really unique. There's a couple of straight-edged, this one is like a notebook, a tiny little notebook, and then this one is like, kind of like little tabs, or I've also ran it through and it's like movie film holes, so you can, you know, do one side and do another side, and it looks like little film strips. But one thing you want to know is when you're putting it through, this line over here is the cut line, so that's where you're going to get the cuts. So you just need to make sure that this is either on this side or turn it around and have it on this side. So we're going to use the little notebook paper, and then there's also this cute little it's kind of like a it's embossed and cut out. So there's flowers that are cut out, and then there's little embossed leaves that kind of pop up. So we're also going to use that for the inside. And then it's got your basic flower shapes and leaf shapes that actually go and coordinate with the paper and the stamps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this little guy, and I am going to run it through right here on one side. And you can see this this sheet of paper is actually, I think, 5.5 inches. So it only really goes part of the way down. And I'm actually going to kind of make this a little bit catty-cornered, because that is how these dies, or this machine, works best. And so what I'm going to do is roll this through. You just push it up just like you do a regular. Oops. Wait. My sandwich got off of my die, and that's not gonna cut. Okay. Pull this through. And then you have this cute little edge. Okay? So I'm just going to rip that off. But okay, so this side was the side that I cut, and now I want to have the cut on this side. And I'm going to put that in again a little bit crooked. things, when you're putting your dies through, if you turn them on an angle just a little bit, that really helps them go through a lot smoother. I'm not sure exactly why, but it works. And then I'm going to put that off, push this back through. And if you have this sitting on a piece of paper, it can kind of move around, but it's got grips on the bottom, so this doesn't move when it's sitting on something like a table or countertop or something like that. So, okay, so then I have my 2 pieces right here. And I'm just going to take some scissors and cut across here like this. And let's see, I need this to go through for a piece in the center, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. I'm just going to cut a piece of cardstock so you can see what this looks like, and then I will show you the inside. I'll do that off camera. My big shot is not, not my big shot. Embossing machine is not on my table. So I'm going to set this in and put my paper in. And then I'm going to just put this on here. I'm going to show it because I really want you to see how this looks when it's coming out of the machine. So now what we have oh, here it is. Let's roll this. This is my U-pick tool with a little brush on the end. It's an added thing you can get with it. It actually comes with a foam base like this. You can roll this on here. Oops. So this is how it looks when it's cut out. And then there are these pieces on here that you can actually bend up to get a little more, I don't know if you can see how that one's stuck out just a little bit right there. So this is really a pretty thing. I'm going to put that on the inside of my card. So now we have this piece of cardstock. And I'm going to get my Stampin' Mat. And paper. And I am going to use the rose, the full rose, and I am going to stamp on both sides with some Versamark. And I am going to use some of our gold embossing powder. So what I've done is I folded a piece of scrap paper, and then I am just going to take this embossing powder and just sprinkle it generously all around. And then I'm going to tap this off. And you can see I have a few pieces of embossing powder stuck there. What I do is, this is the best technique to get for all the years I've stamped. That is the absolute best technique to get all that extra off. Now, if you have some extra places, you can take a little dry brush and just brush that stuff off. I'm not going to worry about it because what I'm doing with this is I'm going to rip this down the center anyway, and so it really won't matter if I have some extra pieces of gold on it. Then you can I just put that right back into the container so you don't waste it. And then I'm going to take let's put it on the non-painted side of my mat. These are also going to be discontinued, or they're not going to be in the new catalog. They're not carrying it over. So if you want one, if you need a silicone mat, it's like a 6x6 size. They're very handy to have, and I like to emboss on top of them. So I'm just going to hold this down. You could use a U-pick tool. I'm just going to hold the down with my scissors. This has our Stampin' Gun Heat and Emboss tool, has 2 different settings. The first one is low, and that's to dry ink. So if you have a really juicy stamp pad and you don't want to smear stuff, you can use that to dry your ink. The setting 2 is the one that's going to get hot enough to actually melt your embossing powder. So I'm going to turn that up. I'm just going to keep this kind of moving over the whole sheet of paper. It takes just a second once it's to heat up. Once it's heated up, then you could do a lot of images much faster, but it's going cold to hot, so it'll take it just a second. And you'll know when it gets hot enough. You'll see the dullness of the embossing powder will go metallic and shiny and oh so beautiful. And if you heat it too long, if you don't keep it moving, you might get a little smoke. If you get smoke, you want to turn it off because that's too hot. And you just really, the key is to keep your tip of the heat tool moving. And then once this is all actually melted down, it will be permanent and it won't come off. And don't touch the tip of this because that gets really hot. It's like 400 degrees. So you can see how that's gone metallic. This up here I didn't quite get a good stamp, but it's heated. It's just I didn't get a solid stamp on it. So that's okay, because what we're going to do now is we are going to rip it we're going to rip it over here, come down like this. Works. So then I'm just going to turn one way and one the other. Okay, so I have my stamped image. I'm going to take half a sheet of, this is Flirty Flamingo. This is another color that is in the set of the DSP. And I'm going to just kind of dry fit this on here like this. And then I'm going to put this one down. And then this one down. Yep, I think that's going to work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these pieces all down with some seal. I might even take some of these edges and kind of actually make it look more distressed, or like it actually was ripped out of a piece of a notebook. And then I'm just going to lay this on top of my stamped image. Do the same for this side. Okay, so now we've got it down like this, and now I'm going to use some of this super pretty, I love this ribbon, Parakeet Party ribbon, and I'm going to take about, probably about 18-20 inches. I'm going to wrap it, get the middle, I'm going to come around this way, and then come around this way. And I'm just going to put this underneath. This is so pretty. It's a really pretty metallic. It goes with so many things. I'm going to actually tie that in a knot, and then I'm going to tie a tiny little bow here. Got it a little shorter than I wanted it, so maybe you need it more like 20 inches would be better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cool thing about this ribbon. It's kind of like our braided linen ribbon we had a couple seasons ago, or the faux linen ribbon that was in the holiday catalog. And you can pull it apart, and I just love the way it looks so ruffly when you do that. It's like ruffles without having to sew. I like it. I'm just going to pull those apart. Okay. Now I'm going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this. Now before I finish this out, I really enjoy stamping on the back of my cards. So what I'm going to do, let's see, this is going to be the front and this is going to be the back. So I'm going to stamp on this side, and I'm going to take, there are a couple little floral daisy prints. They're kind of like little bouquets of flowers, and so I'm going to make a little bit of a kind of a print that is actually kind of a solid. And so I'm going to take the Melon Mambo, just kind of put some of these bouquets falling down the back of the card. And again, I'm going to throw some on top, just kind of off the edge of the card. And this doesn't have to be super perfect, but if you do get a place where with the photopolymer, you can always kind of line that back up. I'm going to have to draw this down here so I can see. And it's pretty easy to get another stamp on it. So there's some real benefits to the whole photopolymer. And I think I'm just going to put this right here. Now, I've made this card like 4 times, and I've done it differently every single time. And it's just kind of based on how I'm feeling at the moment. Now I'm going to use some Flirty Flamingo, because that is the cardstock color. And I'm actually going to take a speckle stamp from Quiet Meadow. I'm going to take this speckle stamp. I love that because like this is a little too open. It doesn't really, it looks like all disconnected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these speckles. Now it looks like a bouquet of extra special flowers fell out of the sky just for you. So I'm going to take that. Done with that. Now I'm going to take and put my card front on here. This. Okay. And I'll be right back. I'm going to take another piece of, I'm going to not show you, but I'm going to run this through with the, so that I get this on the inside of my card. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm back and I've put this on the inside of the card. I'm going to just lay this down like this, put some seal on it. And then on this one, okay, so this one is going to be my shower card, and I'm going to use some Mambo. And I'm just going to stamp this right here, wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. And there you go. I may even put, actually I think I'm going to add best wishes on here in the back. So now we've got a complete card decorated front to back and using the Hues of Happiness stamp set and bundle. And I hope you enjoyed it. So here's the card, and I hope you enjoyed it. This is the other one that I made earlier. I did the back a little bit different. You can see the differences, and really had fun playing with the stamp set and the colors. So don't forget, go and check out Stamp Creatively, Susan Smith, her YouTube channel, and you can find it from stampcreatively.com, and then her videos are there too, so you can find her on YouTube if you're having trouble searching for her. And I just appreciate any likes and subscribes that you would give me, and comment in the comments below and let me know what you think. What do you want to see from the new catalog? Are you excited about the new catalog? If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be happy to send you a catalog, and you can let me know. You can drop a note in the comments below, and you can go to the WonderBasement.com and hit the contact me too, the information. So you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching the Wonder Basement videos. I appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with me. Please click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you check the bell so that you get notifications of new content when it's uploaded. I'll see you soon.